Listen to the words of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Without God, there could be no American form of government, nor an American way of life. Recognition of the Supreme Being is the first, the most basic expression of Americanism. The most basic expression of Americanism. So what does that say about those among us who say that the name of God should never, ever be seen or heard in American society? Or the really ignorant ones who say that the founders set up the Constitution to keep the Christian faith out of government? I'll say it. They are ignorant at best, or worse, they are enemy agents who betray their nation and what it stands for. I think George Washington knew pretty well what this nation was about and what the Constitution meant. Listen to what he said. It is impossible to govern rightly without God and the Bible. If there's one thing Americans agree on, it's this. We have a lousy government today, and here's a wild bill bullet of truth for Americans. The Constitution was written to protect us from the government we now have. George Washington and Dwight D. Eisenhower tell us exactly why. Because our government no longer respects or honors God. The immorality and corruption that is openly practiced in our government has become America's new religion, a false religion that will lead only to destruction. So how did the USA get so far off course? Well, one reason is that the men who have been divinely appointed to serve as this nation's guides have not been doing their job. The pastors and ministers of America's churches have failed to be America's pastors. Here's another wild bill bullet of truth. Pastors, you were not just called to a church, you were called to a community. Well, I don't think I've ever gotten two bullets of truth in a video before. Oh, what the heck. Let's go for the record. Wild bill bullet of truth number 3. God gave America pastors to protect us from the government we now have. Charles Finney said, if your government is filled with corruption, it is the pulpit's fault. America's pastors have retreated behind church doors and have preached the message to those who join them behind those church doors. But when it comes to the government, few pastors are seen or heard. Now granted, evil men have worked hard to intimidate pastors into silence so they would not be challenged as they shove their unholy political agendas on we the people. But anyone who knows the scriptures know that the servants of God are not to be intimidated by such nonsense. We are commanded to be salt and light to our communities. If you're a Christian, you know what those words mean. Now, fortunately for the USA, faithful pastors are stepping forward to challenge the unholy gag order the corrupt government has slapped on them. And many of us are cheering them on and joining them. The Black Robe Regiment is the generic term for these men of courage who are openly challenging evil in America, just like our founding fathers would expect them to, and more importantly, the way God commands them to. Now, this is America's last hope to avoid an apocalyptic judgment upon this nation. No one gets away with spitting in the face of God and killing His children for long. I salute faithful men and women who are standing against the tide of evil that is sweeping across this nation. This is Wild Bill for America. Thank you for watching, and America bless God again.